I thought for the most part, the show opened up very strong with two very, very strong, very fast-paced matches. And this is just my opinion. People could disagree, because I know a lot of people had they was feeling some kind of way about a few of these matches. And I'm not going to tell you didn't have a right to feel that way, because I gets it. I understands 1,000%. But, again, you come from my review. I have my perspective. You're going to hear a lot of content creators say things differently. And it's up to you to decide who you trust in for your quality, for your review of a show. The show started off strong. Becky Lynch versus Rhea Ripley. Both of their entrances was great. You have Becky Lynch reciting passages from her memoir, her new book that is released, that's currently out. And then you see her getting the big time cinematic WWE graphic department doing her thing with the books over the screen. They're reading her text, and then there's a door that opens inside the book and she walks out through it. It's really cool. And the crowd's receiving her with boos. Surprisingly, they're receiving her with boos, and she's the babyface in this feud. I have to question that now. And then Rhea Ripley got song serenaded to the ring by the people who did her song, Brutality. Forgot the name of the band, but it was a live band performance of Brutality. She came out, long hair, dark hair, Rhea Ripley looking fine. And I said to myself, look here, if she wasn't a babyface before, she a babyface now. She's a babyface now. There's no way in hell you can have her do that entrance looking that good, and not be a babyface. So, overall, good match. Not even good. Great match. Fast paced, didn't slow down one bit. They beat the piss out of each other. Becky Lynch hitting all her best spots. Top rope, guillotine, leg drops. You had a lot of manhandle slams. One regular one off the top rope. Rhea Ripley kicking out both of them because it's Rhea Ripley. And Rhea Ripley was giving it to Becky. And this is the thing about both of these women. When it's WrestleMania time, when it's time to put their best foot forward, they always put their best foot forward. They don't half-ass anything. And there was a lot of stiff shots in this match. And to me, the drama here was already built into it. Becky Lynch is going into the match not 100%. And Rhea Ripley is at 100%. And so you're thinking, all right, well, is Rhea going to be cocky? What's the story going to be here leading into this match? And ultimately, I'm just going to be honest with you. As good as that story was, it didn't quite play into the finish. Yes, Becky Lynch did kick out of her riptide, which I thought was interesting. And the match picked up the moment Becky Lynch kicked out of their riptide. I just personally feel like they could have done a little bit more to play into the fact that Becky Lynch was coming in with bruises and broken bones, not at 100%. And they even talked about how Becky Lynch was sick. Apparently, she had a degree, she was at 102 degree fever. She had a fever of 102. So she was sick, strep throat and everything. She wasn't doing pretty well. But she went in there and performed like nothing was going on with her. She pulled a Michael Jordan with the flu or food poisoning. When Rhea beat her, and it wasn't one of those screwy finishes. No, she straight up beat Becky Lynch. She pinned her 1, 2, 3. I said to myself, you know, for a storyline where they were building it as Becky Lynch was just kind of, how do I put this? She was just kind of, let's just say, not at 100%. They told us that she's not going into the match 100%. I would think they would do something a little bit more to subvert our expectations. They didn't. They told us Becky's going into the match not 100%, so the expectation is Rhea Ripley will win. And Rhea just won. And so for me, I'm not saying the storyline didn't play into it, but it just kind of felt pointless to do all of that. To have Becky go through hell and high water to get to this match. And in my predictions, I said, because she's going through all of this, I have a feeling that she's going to win. For her to just go to WrestleMania and lose, it was just kind of like, that, really? That's what we gonna do? That's how we're doing it? You're just gonna come and lose? Okay. I don't hate it. It's just one of those things where I have to take a step back and go, was that the right way to go about things? And one of my biggest fears, my biggest issues with Rhea Ripley having this title reign and her being this dominant is that, okay, who's gonna beat her? Are there women on the WWE roster that can beat her? Yes. Jade Cargill. Of course, Bianca Belair comes to mind as well. But when it comes to the Raw roster, as it is right now, there isn't really anybody in the women's division who can believably beat Rhea Ripley. And I think what it's done is created a title reign that's not very memorable. Because everybody else is down here, and Rhea's all the way up here. Rhea has victories over men. That's how dominant she's been. So that should tell you something. I don't know. I just personally feel like we've reached a point with Rhea where she's outgrown the women's division. And she should be competing for men's championships. But because she's so overbooked and so strong, I'm not even complaining about the fact that she's overbooked to all hell. I think she deserves it. I love her. But it's gotten to the point now where no one can believably beat her. And Becky just went in there and lost clean. So now what do? Now what do you do until you get to Bianca Belair or Jade Cargill? Well, that's a problem they'll have to face. I will say this and then we'll move on. From this point forward, she is no longer a heel. I have stopped seeing her as a heel. In my eyes, Rhea Ripley is a babyface. The crowd reaction she got tonight, the fact that the fans booed Becky Lynch. They booed her. Lets me know that Rhea Ripley is that woman. She is her. We all said that Carmelo Hayes is him. Rhea Ripley is her. So, give me your thoughts about Rhea Ripley. I'm very curious to know how everyone feels about this match. Again, great match. Great way to open the show. I just have to question, like, okay, now what? Where do we go from here? Next match. The 6-pack ladder match for the undisputed WWE Tag Team Championships. Before the match even starts, they show you the ring, and we see the championships separated. The Raw Tag Team titles on one side, the SmackDown Tag Team titles on both sides. As soon as I saw that, I went, yeah, we are separating the championships. We're going to have 2 tag team titles again on both shows. Great. I love it that way. And thank God. No offense to the undisputed championships or the championship reigns. I feel like when you have only one set of tag teams going between one show, it really doesn't open up opportunities, or 2 shows, excuse me, or multiple shows, not even one show. It's Raw, NXT, and SmackDown. Regardless, when that's happening, you don't really leave opportunities for other people to be seen or be put in that spotlight. So, I am happy that we have officially separated the tag team titles yet again. Now, as for the winners, first off, let's talk about the match. The people in the match. We got the Awesome Truth. Everybody got short entrances to save time. But it was the Awesome Truth, R-Truth, The Miz, Judgment Day, the tag team champs, Damian Priest, Finn Balor, DIY coming out with a DX homage, paying homage to DX. That's, of course, Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa. The New Day, Kofi Kingston, Xavier Woods. Consequences Creed made an appearance. That's Xavier Woods' previous character before he came to WWE. He was Consequences Creed in TNA. But he wore the Consequences Creed gear. That was great. Austin Theory and Grayson Waller. And then New Cash Republic, which is, of course, Pete Dunne. And everyone's favorite big, strong boy, Tyler Bate. This match from Jump Street was chaos. They all got outside the ring, grabbed ladders, crazy spots, all kinds of high flying. Loved the spot where, I think it was Finn Balor. Finn Balor was holding a ladder. Tyler Bate picked him up with the ladder in hand and then did an airplane spin with the ladder. You know that spot where you put the ladder on your neck and you just go spinning and people just run into it? Well, instead of that, it was an airplane spin with the ladder. Kofi Kingston got hit with it, and that was it. I think they dropped it and said, "Fuck it, this is a little too much." And then they just finished the airplane the airplane spin. People falling off ladders here and there. Freaking Grayson Waller got powerbombed through a ladder after him and Austin Theory grabbed the SmackDown titles. So congratulations to your new SmackDown Tag Team Champions, Austin Theory and Grayson Waller. Good to have them here. Good to see you guys killing it. Now, I've always said that as much as they put a lot of stock into Austin Theory and Grayson Waller, it just feels like it doesn't feel like we're getting a return on this investment. Now, Austin Theory's 26. Who knows where he'll be in the next 10 years? But damn, he beat John Cena last year and nothing came of it. Now he's winning the tag team titles this year. Now it's like, okay, eventually we need to see a return on this investment on Austin Theory and Grayson Waller. But they're the new tag team champs. I'm assuming they're going to carry the tag team division on SmackDown. They kind of have to. Johnny Gargano. This was one of my favorite spots. Did a slingshot DDT, a final beat DDT to the outside with Peter Dunne. And put him through a table. And then freaking Tommaso Ciampa did an air raid crash. An air raid crash off the ladder with Tyler Bate. It looked like he broke his back. Not Tyler's back. Not just his back, but also freaking Tommaso Ciampa's back. He broke his own back hitting that move. Jesus Christ almighty. I was very surprised that we didn't see a lot of spots from Kofi. You would think Kofi Kingston would be all over this match. You know, he's very subdued. Everyone else just kind of think that Kofi Kingston has fallen into the background. Not much is happening with him. I don't know how I feel about that. But okay. I mean, it is what it is. The ending came, and this is one of my favorite parts. Easily the hottest part of the match. Whereas when The Miz was getting beat up by Judgment Day, that's Damian Priest and Finn Balor. And then R-Truth, who thinks it's an actual tag match, gets in the apron. He's like, tag me, player. Miz tags him. Although there's no tags in this match. Crowd pops because he got the hot tag. He does the John Cena shoulder tackle. Spinning powerbomb. You can't see me. 5-knuckle shuffle. Boom. Hits the Attitude Adjustment and pins Finn Balor 1, 2, 3. This is like, bruh, it's not an actual tag match. Climb up the ladder. It was great. Great moment. The scariest part to me was, at the end, you see R-Truth climbing the ladder, right? He's climbing the ladder. And I think Damian Priest gets on he gets on the other side. And then something happens to the leg of the ladder. It bends. Like, it completely bends, and now the ladder is wobbling, right? And so R-Truth gets tossed off the ladder. He falls off. Now Damian Priest is climbing the ladder. And the referee's like, yo, Damian, don't climb that ladder. Bro, get a different ladder. They're trying to get his attention. Damian, get a different ladder. And he's like, what do y'all want? Yo, I'm wrestling right now. Right? And you're like, oh, shoot, Damian, bro, you're gonna hurt yourself. And this is the part where even I'm just kind of going, bro, please be careful. Please be careful. You are going to hurt yourself. This is very dangerous. And I personally feel like, again, this is just how I feel. If if they had gone through with whatever spot they were going to do, someone was going to be seriously hurt. So I'm so happy that when Damian Priest is climbing this ladder and it's wobbling, Miz climbs the other side and they're brawling, someone said, okay, we are going to kill this spot. They jumped off, and then Damian Priest just tossed the ladder and grabbed a new one. And the referees essentially just gave him a new ladder. They just gave him a new ladder. R-Truth got the ladder in there. And I'm just like, oh my God. They being commentary played it off like, yo, he still thinks he's part of the Judgment Day, right? So the ladder gets inside the ring, and then they do the usual spot. Damian Priest climbs the ladder, he gets tossed off. And then R-Truth climbs the ladder and gets the Raw titles. R-Truth and The Miz, the Awesome Truth, are now your new Raw Tag Team Champs. R-Truth finally gets his WrestleMania moment. He finally wins a match at WrestleMania. Something that's been eluding him. It's been eluding him for years. He finally gets it. I'm happy. I'm happy that R-Truth got his moment at WrestleMania. It was a great moment for him. He deserved it. And yeah, we're gonna see where that goes. The tag team division still needs a little work. I'm not the only one that feels this way, right? The division as a whole still feels kinda, not just the men's, but the women's as well. Tag teams aren't as prominently featured in WWE right now. And I'm hoping over time that does change. That does change. So, I thought the first two matches, Becky, Rhea, this tag team ladder match, great matches. Great matches. And then we get to the rest of the card. And this is when things just kind of start to fall off a little bit. I sensed it in this next match. So, what was originally Rey Mysterio and Dragon Lee versus Santos Escobar and Dominic Mysterio ended up being Andrade and Rey Mysterio, because Dragon Lee got attacked by Santos Escobar and Dominic Mysterio. So Andrade gets added literally last night, the night before WrestleMania 40, night 1. And they start wrestling. And I noticed that the crowd was a lot quieter. And honestly, this is where I just kind of chalked it up to acoustics. I'm like, you know what? We're in a big building. It's 72,000. There's an open dome. So the sound travels out. It doesn't travel circular. It's not going throughout the arena. It's pushing upward, pushing off, out of the arena, you know? So it's going to be hard to hear the crowd. That's what I chalked it up as. The more I think about it, the more I just kind of go, is it just that, or is it just that this match wasn't clicking? Because I'm not going to lie, when I was watching this match, I was just sitting there just kind of waiting for something to happen. And I'm just sitting here, and I told myself, why does this match have literally no heat? It has no heat, which is incredible when you think about it, because this entire storyline with Santos Escobar and Rey Mysterio has been building for it feels like 6 to 7 months. Remember, Santos took Rey out last year after that U.S. title tournament, right? And then he turned heel, and then Rey came back, and there's supposed to be this big feud, this big heat behind it. No heat. And so they added Dominic Mysterio. And I'm thinking, okay, that makes it a little bit more interesting. We get to the match tonight, no heat. None. And then to make matters worse, and this is just my opinion, they had Dominic Mysterio and Santos Escobar lose because some football players from the Philadelphia Eagles with Rey Mysterio masks, I think one of them was Jason Kelsey, and the other one was some other dude. But football players from the Philadelphia Eagles interfered to help Rey and Andrade win. And I'm just sitting here like, really? That's how you end this match? I don't know. I'm gonna say it. I personally feel like Dom and Santos should have won this match. I feel like Dom should have won it. Kept the heat going. Keep their heat. And then we could have done something at Backlash or something. But yeah, I don't know. It wasn't one of those matches where I came out going, damn, I want to see more of this. When it was over, I was like, are we sure we want to continue this? I don't know. This is when I started to sense that something was off with the show. Was the match bad? No, I thought the match was good. Like, the in-ring performance, the in-ring quality, I thought was good. People are telling me that the other player was Lane Johnson, whoever the hell Lane Johnson is, but okay. Lane Johnson. Regardless, I just personally felt like the match, it was missing something. By the time it was over with, I was like, that's it. This is a story that's been brewing, cooking, sizzling for 7 months. And it's like an afterthought. The LWO versus Legado del Fantasma just feels so cold. And coming out of this match, it still feels cold. Feels very cold. But Rey Mysterio and Andrade won. So there's that. And then the match that people are calling the worst match of the night. Although I personally disagree. Technically, I think this tag match is the worst match of the night. But people are saying Jimmy and Jey Uso had the worst match of the entire night. And this is a storyline that's been, oh my god, like, come on now. The Usos have been together since they debuted. They've been the Usos since, 2010? 14, probably 15 years if we're being honest. But 14 years when it comes to the main roster. Bloodline storyline, we know how that worked out. Jey ends up leaving the Bloodline. Jimmy leaves with them at first, but then rejoins the Bloodline, screws over Jey at SummerSlam. And since then, we've been building and adding heat and having Jimmy screw over Jey Uso every chance he could. Building to this match for WrestleMania, right? I remember saying, when Jimmy screwed Jey at SummerSlam, I said, okay, but why? Right? Like, Jimmy's the one that encouraged Jey to leave the Bloodline. And so for him to just turn around and join back up with Roman after Jimmy got his ass kicked and taken out by Roman, I was just sitting here like, why would you do that? And so I was hoping in these next 7 months, they were going to add a little bit more to Jimmy Uso's character, right? And in the meantime, Jey's going to go do his own thing on Raw. Jey ends up becoming one of the highest babyface talents in all of wrestling, if not one of the highest wrestlers, period, today. His entrance when he comes out, by the way, he came out with Lil Wayne. He came out with Lil Weezy. Lil Wayne, a milli, leading into his theme song, Raise the Roof and everything. Was a great entrance. High entrance. As over as Jey Uso is, Jimmy Uso is literally the complete opposite. Jimmy has looked like shit. The build to this match has been so lopsided. Simply from the standpoint of Jimmy has looked like absolute garbage. No heat on him whatsoever. The only heat he got was screwing Jey Uso out of his matches that were sporadically spread out throughout the last 7 months. No, I take that back. 8 months. And so going into this match, you had heat, but not a lot of heat. The only heat you had was, well, it's the first time these two are fighting. They haven't had a match before against each other. This is the very first time they've wrestled each other. Right? And so in my mind, I'm thinking, well, Jimmy has to win, right? Because he literally has nothing. Literally nothing. There's no heat whatsoever other than him screwing Jey Uso out of a couple of championships. Okay. But in terms of, like, momentum and standing out as a believable challenger for Jey, he has zero. He has nothing. And so for me, I thought it was obvious. Because in the predictions with A&B Convos, Wrestling Edition, and Patrick, when we were talking about it, they picked Jey. Everyone picked Jey. And I said to myself, yep, and that's why I'm picking Jimmy. This is the perfect match to subvert expectations. Jimmy Uso should have won this. He didn't. He didn't. Jey just won. There was no interference from Solo, no Bloodline shenanigans. It was just a regular, good, but at the end of the day, it was just a regular one-on-one match where Jey just won. And my biggest issue with that is, this is literally a part of one of the biggest storylines in the last, dare I say, 2 decades. Jey and Jimmy's feud has stemmed from the Tribal Chief storyline. A storyline that has spanned it for 3 years, involving some of the biggest names. Cody, Rock, Seth, and I'm thinking Sami, Kevin Owens. And I'm thinking to myself, man, like, this is going to be a preview of what to expect for not just tonight's main event, but tomorrow's main event. I was expecting an interference. And for the first time, I'm thinking, where's the interference? Where's Solo? Why was he not out there to help? Jey just won. And Jimmy lost. And I think ultimately, because of the story they're telling, you look at that ending and go, what the hell? What the hell? So that's it? You do all of that. Jimmy screws over Jey. We don't get an explanation for why he screwed over Jey other than I'm evil or family, right? Although Roman attacked him. And then he just goes on this losing streak, barely getting any heat other than the times where he screwed Jey Uso out of the tag team titles, out of the US title, and then, of course, the IC title, and then the world title. You're sitting here like, okay, so this is a mountain he has to conquer. I don't think he's going to conquer it in the first match. And so when Jey just beats him, you're like, well, that's just kind of lackluster. This goes beyond just having a good match. I just feel like the overall story is just, it is just messy. I'm being honest with you. The overall story with the Usos, the Uso brothers, is messy. And I think that's why people are saying it's one of the worst matches of the night, because of the story behind it not really connecting. It is. It's a messy story that I feel needs more work, unless we're moving away from it. I don't think we're moving away from it. I have a feeling that we're going to get more of it. This won't be the last time we see Jimmy and Jey together. And that's fine. But if they're going to continue wrestling, I really do think Jimmy and Jey, we need more. It needs more layers. Because they didn't really add any layers outside of Jimmy screwing Jey and him breaking up with him at SummerSlam. And that's as far as we got. We never really got an explanation for why Jimmy screwed Jey. And they just separated, and then that was it. It was weird. But I think the overall in-ring quality of the match was good. It was good. Lots of super kicks. The story was off. And I'm going to say that. Like, a lot of people, especially WWE fans, they're in it for the story. If the story doesn't make any sense, you're going to lose the audience. And I feel like the overall story here didn't really make much sense. So, Jey just beats Jimmy, and I'm assuming we're going to get more, but that could be it. I don't see why we need to go to a second match. There's no reason to go to a second match. Jey won. Well, the story continues. We'll find out what they do next. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Jade Cargill, Naomi, and Bianca who are now being known as the Big Three, took on Damage Control's Asuka, Kairi Sane, and Dakota Kai. Dakota Kai came out with that leather on, and I said, God damn! Dakota Kai looking fine in her wrestling gear. Kairi Sane looked amazing as well. Asuka did look good too. But Dakota, I said, look, if you want me to marry you, that's a good way to go about it. Now, Dakota Kai is single, right? I think she's single. Oh, she is single. Great. Wonderful. I loved the entrance from Naomi, Bianca, and Jade Cargill. Looking like Charlie's Angels. Destiny's Child coming down from what looked like a stage podium. They was just being lowered down from the heavens. You got the light shining behind them with the silhouette. I said, oh, Lord. Now you know they gotta win now. With that entrance, I said, you know they gotta win. So the Big Three got in there, and it was literally building to a hot tag from Jade Cargill. That's literally the entire match. Naomi and, of course, Bianca got heat on them from Asuka and Kairi and Dakota Kai. They got their asses whooped until they got the hot tag on Jade Cargill. And it was game over. And Jade Cargill ran through them bitches. Took them all out like storm. A storm is coming. And it came. Pause. She went in there. Big boot. Power pressed. Yes, power pressed Kairi Sane over her head. Threw her outside the ring. Ended up hitting the Jaded. That's the sit-out facebuster on Dakota Kai and pinned her 1, 2, 3. And unfortunately, Asuka's WrestleMania anti-Undertaker streak continues. That is her 6th consecutive loss at WrestleMania. We all called it. No one should be surprised. It is Jade Cargill's debut match. She was not losing this. The crowd was, again, it was one of those things where you chalk it up to the acoustics inside the arena, but the crowd was non-existent. They sounded dead. It literally sounded like everybody was just knocked out. So, I don't know. By this point, I was just like, it's just coming to the point where I'm just like, maybe we just need to wrap this up because this ain't it. I don't know what's going on. All right, the crowd's just not feeling it. And I hate to say it. I thought the match was good, too. The match was good. But I think people are just more invested in Bayley and Io Sky's story. So I think that match tomorrow is going to be phenomenal. What many are calling the match of the night, or one of the matches of the night, was his IC title match. And I've had my criticisms about this match. I've gone on record to say this should be Chad Gable's spot. Sami Zayn, to me, didn't feel like the right person to beat Gunther. And even now, although he did beat him, it still doesn't feel right. Does that mean Sami Zayn doesn't deserve this moment? Does that mean he shouldn't have this moment? Does that mean he can never have this moment? No, none of those things are what I was saying. I personally feel like this was Chad Gable's story. And because of the situations with CM Punk and Brock Lesnar, if that didn't happen, this would have been Chad Gable's moment. Gunther's reign was going to end at 666. I just don't like the fact that it was Sami that did it. Just wanted to get that off my chest. With that said, putting my personal opinions, my personal bias aside for Chad Gable, because I'm proud to be an American and a big Chad Gable fan. Thank you. When Sami Zayn was shown backstage with his family, his wife and his kid, and then he's going through Gorilla, and then he runs into Kevin Owens, then he runs into Chad Gable. There was a side of me that was like, man, it would really suck if he lost right now. But I was like, you know what? I still think he's going to lose. Gunther comes out. Sami comes out to huge, huge ovation. The match starts, and it goes exactly as you would expect. Gunther dominates Sami. And I mean massacres him. Chops, suplex, German suplex, scoop slam, chop, another chop, sleeper. Sami is getting his ass whooped. It got to a point where it was uncomfortable. Gunther stepping on his neck. Sami couldn't move, looking limp. And then Gunther hits him with not one, not two, but 3 splashes. And I said, okay, dude, Gunther, pin him. Pin him. Please pin him. Please. And they're showing his wife and the kid. And you're seeing they're distraught watching this. And so now it starts to make you feel uncomfortable. Because Sami's being punished. And there were multiple times during the match where Gunther could have just pinned him. He didn't. Gunther just got cocky. Oh, I'm going to torch him a little bit more. And Sami, seeing his family distraught, awoke something inside him. And so Sami Zayn got his second win, and then he starts fighting, and he starts fighting it, and then he starts fighting it. And then Gunther is on the top rope, right? He gets a haluva kick to the face. Kicks out. And then Sami has Gunther on the top rope. Sami climbs the top rope. Doesn't climb all the way, gets to the second part. In my head, I said, I swear to God, if they have him do the brain buster, I am going to lose my mind. So help me God. Sami Zayn picks up Gunther. Boom! Brain buster! He hit the top rope brain buster. I lost it. For like 10 seconds. I forget everything I just basically told you about. I forget that. Wait, Sami Zayn should be winning this match. He hit the brain buster. Gunther got up. He ate not one but 2 haluva kicks. And Sami pins him. It all happened really quickly. It was brain buster, haluva kick, pinned him. Crowd went crazy. I went crazy. Because it was like, what in the world? What? I had to stop myself and go, oh yeah, I forgot Vince McMahon's not here anymore. Vince is not here anymore, so talent could be a little bit more free. Oh my God. Incredible. Incredible, ladies and gentlemen. No, you have to understand something. I still don't agree with having Sami Zayn beat Gunther. I still feel like it should have been Chad Gable's story. Let's get that straight. But I understand why. Now I understand why he won. Because I'm sitting here like, why Sami Zayn? They wanted to put over the brain buster spot. That's what this is about. This was more about establishing the brain buster. When he hit that top rope brain buster, it all became clear to me. Because I'm like, why? Of all people, to beat Gunther, why Sami Zayn? It wasn't about Sami beating Gunther. It was about one thing and one thing over. One thing only. Putting over the brain buster. He wanted to establish that top rope brain buster and give Sami Zayn that WrestleMania moment. That's what it was about. It was about that one move for that one moment. And honestly, thinking about it from that perspective, you know what? I get it. Because again, ultimately, the original plan was going to be Brock Lesnar and Gunther. So I had to think, was Brock Lesnar going to end Gunther's reign? Probably not. And so after that, I'm thinking, okay, it's going to be Chad Gable. Because originally, Sami Zayn was supposed to be fighting Drew McIntyre, right? When they lost Brock Lesnar, I'm like, okay, next in line is Chad Gable. Sami's going to be fighting for the world title, right? No. No. Oh my God. They went with Sami Zayn. And for the longest time, I was just like, why? Why Sami? Why Sami? It wasn't about Sami. It wasn't just about it. They wanted to establish, ladies and gentlemen, it's a new era. Brainbuster, top rope. Wow. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. I was blown away. Just absolutely blown away by that. Yeah. You know what? Congratulations, Sami Zayn. I'm happy you got your WrestleMania moment. Gunther's reign is over. He ends his reign at 666. Oh my God, he ended it at the devil's number, 666 days. Yikes. That's kind of appropriate, though. That's pretty appropriate. He ended it at 666. So I guess that means Gunther will go after the World Heavyweight Championship. Yeah, I have a feeling that if Seth retains, I know exactly who's going to beat him. It's not going to be Drew. It should be Drew. But if Seth does retain, I have a feeling Gunther is going to be your new world champion. Just got a feeling. I got a feeling. Woo-hoo. So yeah, I'm conflicted. The match was awesome. Fantastic match overall. Great moment. Brainbuster. It's gonna be one of those things that people talk about all weekend. Sami hit the fucking brainbuster. I could never imagine that happening under Vince McMahon. But yeah, he hit the freaking brainbuster on the top rope. That's his finisher now. That's insane. Okay. Congratulations, Sami. 4-time IC champion. 4-time IC champion. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. Okay. Let's see how it goes. And finally, we get the main event of the evening. A match that has huge implications for night 2. The Rock and Roman Reigns. The Bloodline. Taking on Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins. The Rock is the MVP of WrestleMania this year. I don't want to hear it. You heard me. And you know it's true. It's not Cody Rhodes. It's not Roman Reigns. It's not Seth Rollins. Dwayne The Rock Johnson is the MVP for WrestleMania weekend. And you know it's true. The Rock single-handedly made this one of the most exciting WrestleMania shows, period. And the hype for this match was out of this world. The things they did with the final boss. Love this new gimmick. And I kept telling y'all are over here, The Rock don't guide no more. We're going to run The Rock off. We're going to boo him so he'll go away. I said, okay, you want to boo The Rock? You can boo The Rock, but understand this. He's going to make money one way or another, whether you hate him or not. So if you're going to boo him, he can make money off of that. And they booed him. And then we ended up not with Hollywood Rock, not with corporate Rock. We ended up with a new iteration. A very strong, perhaps one of his best characters today. The Final Boss. Came out with the Black Adam entrance with the lightning going in the background and the spotlight on him. And then the transition from his babyface theme into the Hollywood Rock theme. Oh, Brahma Bull has red eyes. His entrance tonight was Chef's Kiss. It was fabulous. It was fabulous. And then you see him beating up Cody Rhodes. Not just beating up, decimating him. Telling Mama Rose, I'm going to put your son's blood on this belt and then give you the belt. And you're going to give it your tears. And then The Rock proceeded to do everything that he set out to do. 2 weeks ago, beat up Cody Rhodes, drug him outside, busted him wide open, blood streaming out his face, one of the best Raws in years. Grabbed his blood, put it on the Mama Rose belt. And we all said, oh man, this is a new era. This is new. This is new. This ain't the same WWE. And then, the very next week, what ended up happening? Cody tried to get his revenge. Nope! The Rock whooped his ass again! And then we got here tonight, because everyone was saying, yeah, the hype is great. You can do all the shenanigans, all that bells and whistles crap, but eventually the bell's gonna ring. Then what is The Rock gonna do? Right? Eventually the bell is going to ring. So what do you think? The bell rung. Was it as bad as you were expecting? Where those haters at now? Ladies and gentlemen, you know I keep it fair. Even though I have my own preferences, even though I have my own biases, you all know I do my best to give you a straightforward review, and I never lie to you. You know like I know that if a match sucks, no matter who's in it, I'll tell you that it sucks. When it comes to this match in particular, I had a feeling that this was going to surpass everyone's expectations. I was a little worried. I was a little worried about The Rock because I'm like, ooh, okay, 51 years old, can he still go? He looked fantastic. At 51, whooped their candy asses. Sold like a pro. Took bumps like a pro. I loved it. He can still work. Man, he got in there and looked like a monster. He basically worked Hulk Hogan. He was Hulk Hogan from WrestleMania 18. He was the powerhouse tossing people around. I loved it though. It looked good. He looked great. Was selling properly. Moved great. The match started off slow because it went 44 minutes and 30 seconds. The second longest match in WrestleMania history. But once it picked up, it picked up. Because there was a point in the match where The Rock just said, screw it. Anything goes. Told the referee, don't you DQ me, don't you count me out, don't you do anything or you're fired. So it essentially turned into a tornado attack. It turned into a Texas tornado attack. Roman starts beating up Cody, Seth starts beating up Rock. They start using weapons. They start putting each other through tables. It just becomes chaos. And in my head, I'm like, why not just make it an anything goes Texas tornado match? If that's what you were going to do, cool. Just start that off from the get-go. But okay. They go out into the crowd. They start really talking shit. You see Rock spitting water at Seth. And then Seth spits prime at The Rock. It was great. And so it just built and crescendoed to the ending where shit just got crazy. And you start seeing counters. You're seeing Cody hitting the crossroads. You're seeing Roman hit the spear. There was a point in the match where Cody... What is with Cody not hitting Roman with the Cody Cutter? Because Cody could hit the Cody Cutter just fine on The Rock. But Roman, he botched both of Cody's. He got hit with two of them, and he botched both of them. It looked horrible. But Cody hit a sweet Cody Cutter off the top against Roman, and then Seth followed up with the frog splash. That was nice. Love that double team. And then there was a point in the match where Cody was hooked in the guillotine, and then The Rock held Cody's legs on the outside where he couldn't move, and I was like, oh, that's crazy. And there was this one part in the match where The Rock just took his fist and bow! Punched Seth in the nuts. I was like, what the... This badass here. You just punched him right in the nuts. That's hilarious. That was just funny to me. He just, bow, right in the nuts. So he punched him in the nuts. And then it starts getting crazy. Because now you start seeing Cody Rhodes and Seth go to the announcer's table. And then Cody puts the Rock through the announcer's table with the rock bottom. Hits a rock bottom with the Rock on it. And then Roman spears Seth through a barricade. The Rock gets inside the ring. Spine buster. Goes with the people's elbow. In the middle of it, Cody gets up. Cody cutter to counter it. Really, really good. So good. You see Seth selling his knee and his back, because you know the story of him having knee injuries in the back. Bad back. So he's selling that. Just good stuff all around. I love it. You love to see it. You love to see it. And then there was a spot during the match where, and this was one of my favorite near falls. So Rock and Roman have Cody dead to rights. Roman goes for a spear. He goes to spear Cody. Seth intercepts Cody out of the way. Roman misses Cody and spears the Rock. Just straight up spears the Rock. And we're like, oh shit. And so then Cody and Seth double team Roman. Cody picks up Rock. Seth picks up Roman. They hit a double pedigree. Tribute to the game. And they pin him. 1, 2, and then the Rock kicks out. And Roman kicks out. I said, that was a crazy near fall. Love that near fall. Of course, the ending is Roman, of course, gets hit with not one, not two. Was gonna be hit with a third crossroads. The Rock gets a belt and wham! Lashes Cody. Smacks him across the back with a belt. It was loud. Straight up crack. You hear a crack throughout the arena. Just straight up smacked his ass. It's crazy. And then Cody slumps down. Roman hits the spear. And then Roman tags in the Rock. And then the Rock stalked. Did the little stalking. Just, And then you start stalking him. And then you start stalking him. And then Cody stands up. Boom! Rock bottom. Oh no, we're not done. Oh, we can't end it that way. You know what's coming next, right? People's elbow. But he doesn't do that because he did the elbow thing and threw it already. So instead, he just goes Bloodline. Runs to the ropes. Hits the elbow. Boom. Pins Cody. 1, 2, 3. Crowd boos. The Rock pins Cody Rhodes. Roman and Rock win on night 1. And that means on night 2, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to get Bloodline rules. Anything goes. This was the Infinity War, and I love that after Cody lost, they do the same shot they did last year. When Cody lost to Roman, you see Cody sad face, and then in the corner you see The Rock and Roman on the outside. Will history repeat itself? So now Cody's going into a match down, disgruntled, thinking I might not win. I don't think I'm going to finish the story. Seth is looking distraught because I'm like, he's all like, man, I put my body and soul. Now I'm fucked up and battered. Now I got to face Drew McIntyre tomorrow. Fuck. You know, Seth is like, fuck. Right? And so we see The Rock. We see Roman Reigns. The Rock, by the way, is carrying the People's Championship strap he got at the Hall of Fame from Muhammad Ali. He's carrying that around his shoulder. Roman's carrying the Undisputed Championship. Why does The Rock's belt look better than Roman's belt? Why? Why y'all do that to Roman? Anyways, they get on the apron. I mean, not the apron, the stage, midway through. Roman raises the belt. The Rock raises his belt. Fireworks go off. And Cody is sitting there disgruntled. And that's how we end the show. We end the show exactly how it should be ended. Cody defeated. He doesn't think he's going to win. So guess what's going to happen tomorrow? We just saw Infinity War. Thanos won. He snapped out half the universe. The heroes, the Avengers, are defeated. They're disgruntled. They've lost hope. So I guess that means Endgame is coming tomorrow. I'm excited. I'm excited about Endgame. This overall, again, tonight's show, this is just me, tonight's show I thought was good. It was a good show. It didn't feel like WrestleMania from the standpoint of not a lot happened. The only thing that you need to worry about is Sami Zayn beating Gunther, and of course the tag match at the end. Everything else, you can skip it. You can just read the results. I do recommend you go and watch it though. But like honestly, just watch the last two matches and you're good. Overall show was good. Crowd was kinda, again, we gotta do something about the acoustics in this arena. Crowd sounded dead. They sounded dead. And it hurt the show. But I'm not too worried about it because we all know that the real WrestleMania is, well, tonight because it's past midnight for me. But it's tomorrow for WrestleMania Night 2.